Okay, so I've been sent this video of Dan Pena, who I've seen before online. I don't know too much about him. And this other chap who seems to have some business related to promoting silver and gold, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, let's play this and I'll give you my feedback.
How do you sell anything to anyone?
Me or in general? Or
Yeah.
well, I'm not a conventional salesman. I'm a hammer closer. Okay. If I determine you have a need, I determine you have a need through I've already differentiated you from a prospect and a suspect. Most people, 95% of sales are attempted on the wrong people that can't make a decision or really don't have a need. So you got to determine.
Okay, so that's an important, genuine point, that a lot of people spend a lot of time on the phone or talking with someone at a business or in an organization or even a relationship where they're not talking to the decision maker. And because it's very relevant to what I do with my physical off-grid community, which is something else we're involved in, we often find that we talk to one partner, or we don't do this anymore, but it's just an interesting thing that I'll mention. We're talking to one partner in a husband-wife relationship, and one of the partners is hot to trot and ready to go and wants to move over here and do something interesting. And we've previously burnt a lot of time talking to someone only to find out that they've gone back to their significant other and they've completely put the kibosh on their plans for whatever reason. So this is a legitimately fair point. Whenever you're trying to sell anything to any group, organization, individual, make sure the person you're dealing with has either the influence or the direct ability to make a decision.
Whether a suspect, and a suspect just because he answers your emails or your phone calls or your texts or whatever, that doesn't mean that he's a true prospect. But if you determine that he's a true prospect because he really has a need, let's use weight. The reason why Ozempic or whatever that thing's called, that enhances your ability to lose weight.
Ozempic.
Okay. And one of the reasons I was so successful when I came to Britain in 1981 was that I brought to the city, which is what the financial district used to be called, that temerity, that grit, that special sauce of aggression they hadn't seen. The mantra of the city used to be my word is my bond. I don't know what it is now. And we did big deals, hundreds of millions of pounds on a handshake or a phone call. Okay, fine, I agree. Okay, I'll follow it up in due course in writing. And I used to laugh because due course used to mean sometime between now and never. Some of the biggest deals in the 80s and the early 90s got done with no paperwork. I mean, no, we agreed on the phone and that was it. Now.
Yeah, that's a notable point there, that in the past you could count on people's word a lot more than you can now. It seems that in the West even now, people's word means little or nothing. There's a lot of talk and no action, and that's one of the reasons why high trust networks and high trust communities are the future, in my opinion. You need to be working with and dealing with people who are like-minded and are honourable and keep their word and are decent, fair-minded people. This is the future, in my opinion, because everything becomes vastly easier when people just stick to what they say and don't play games, So yeah, completely agree with. Well, I'm going to agree with that. That was my point. But anyway, I'll continue.
Now, I might have mentioned one of my favorite statistics, especially to financial professionals. In the 70s, when I first came up, started up the ladder, a $100 million deal took you about 6 weeks to get done, from the womb to completion. This is before Google and all the stuff, okay? Before the high-speed computers, all you had was a little adding machine that you could type on. Now, the same deal takes 12 to 20 weeks. Same deal. Because now we have consensus management, okay? Now the investment banks, which used to be called merchant banks, don't put their own money in the deal. They put money they raised from somebody else in the deal.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of business guy this is, but I suspect he's someone who's either probably some kind of financial markets guy. All of those markets just shouldn't exist, in my opinion. It's all part of the whole financialization of the Western economy. You know, the whole making money from money. It's all just gambling and speculation, and it screws everybody else trying to do a proper business. In many ways. So I don't know. I need to research this guy a bit more and see what he's really about. But that would be my guess. If anybody knows more about this chap, do comment put something in the comments. Okay.
With that consensus management, that spreads the risk. So if it goes sideways, one guy isn't responsible, or one gal is not responsible. A group of guys or gals are responsible. And the kids today are afraid to pull the trigger. I just came back from Dubai. Two of my mentees, one in LA, a black kid from South Africa. I was there for the closing of his $82 million fund. And he left South Africa 8 months before, and he told his wife, I'm not coming back without the money. And it's kind of like, come back on your shield or with your shield, like the smart used to say. And it took him 8 months. So he was away from his family for 8 months. And I was there, and we had a big celebration dinner. I was also there, the Carlings, which are from Scotland. But what he did from Dundee, rather than tell his family, I'm not coming back. And
I'm very curious to know who the 80 million African deal is, what that's about. That'd be very interesting to find out exactly what that is. So again, if anybody knows what he's talking about, let me know. I'd like to investigate that one.
Unless I have the money. He moved there and is now a resident of Dubai. To me, Dubai is Las Vegas without slot machines, basically. But they both have huge balls. And in Graham's case, about the 5th or 8th month of Corona, both his mother and dad died the same day, different hospitals in Dundee. Okay, and good time to feel sorry for yourself. No matter what your relationship was, but he just took an hour or two and dusted himself off and kept running towards the gunfire. That's why I use the terminology running towards the gunfire. Okay, and now I add metaphorically, and kill every motherfucker you come up against, because they're not. Almost everybody operates their own life and in their business on a defensive mode. Rarely do you find somebody that operates on a offensive mode.
I get an extremely bad vibe from this guy for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, I'm gonna dig a bit deeper before I say any more.
Okay, and so today's kids, they're growing up. They don't have the piss and vinegar. They don't have the backbone. There's all kinds of words to use, but they just don't. And we train the kids. There's a second way. Okay, either punches in the face, or remember you're the average of the 5 people I don't like to use the word hang with.
Spend time with.
Okay,
Frequent.
have those 5 people assassins. And that's possible. And that's what I did. I had the military. I had a world-class superhero dad who happened to be a real assassin.
Did he just say his dad was a real assassin? Charming. Yeah. Anyway, I'll find out more, but that's my take on that one for now.